As I earlier sensationally revealed, Trevor Kavanagh, the political columnist at The Sun, is with us in the studio. The judge has made a decision, Trevor, I think it's the first of its kind, to actually name these kids when their sentence comes down at the beginning of February. I think it's about time. I mean, when kids commit horrific adult-style crimes, I don't think they deserve to carry on being treated as children. They don't deserve our protection. And as I said earlier, why on earth we are still protecting the identity of the monster who killed poor little Jamie Bulger, John Venables, at the age of 41 is beyond me. This is a good moment, is it not?
I think it's a great moment, and I think Brianna's father nailed it when he said it's impossible to comprehend what goes through the minds of these people. I mean, they've been exposed to some appalling things on the dark web, whatever that is. I've never ventured into the dark web. I wouldn't know how to, but kids are able to access things that other people can't. And the boy in this apparently is very intelligent, autistic, but very intelligent. And I don't know which one was manipulating the other, but I suspect that they were both playing on one another's worst possible sensibilities. And to be able to do this to a lively young child, I mean, basically Brianna was only a child, and to knife her 28 times and in such a savage and systematic way. They'd planned this
They wrote it down, didn't they?
Yeah. I think that most people will be, as the parents of Brianna felt, utterly bewildered by this.
I think every now and then you have a shocking crime or an incident that really triggers a national conversation. I think the national conversation that's about to happen is about children online, what they're accessing. We've previously looked at this through the prism of children being groomed by adults. And now I think we need to focus on children themselves being warped and twisted by the sort of content that they're exposed to. And this also comes at a time when the government are sort of putting into motion the online safety bill without much meat on the bones of how this is actually going to manifest and be executed. Do you think that the government now, or the country in general, needs a rethink when it comes to that balance between safeguarding of children and adult freedoms and privacies?
Yes, I do, and I think it's long overdue. I think that nearly all the problems that we confront in society today, here and in America and in basically wherever you can lay hands on a computer, is down to social media. Although, as an aside, Venables was pre-social media.
Yeah.
It didn't stop him plotting a most dastardly crime.
Video. Well, he also watched adult videos, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like horror movies and played violent video games.
Yeah, so it's a phenomenon, I guess, of the multimedia world we live in. But I think that we are paying a huge price for the freedom of the internet giants to be able to push out material which is basically beyond the reach of governments and authorities who would otherwise not allow it to be given airplay. These things are just reprehensible in every way, shape or form.
As I said, I think, the good thing about naming, as they're now called, Girl X and Boy Y, is it will send a message that, and I hope the judge also severely punishes them. They spend a long time behind bars. So sending out a message to kids, you do this, you get seriously punished and we'll all know who you are, I think is a good thing. But apart from that, what we're talking about here is, parents, nice families, their kids disappear up to their bedrooms, and then they disappear into horrific places on the dark web. I agree with you. I'm intrigued as a journalist. I've always sort of wanted to know what's on the dark web.
But at the same,
well, I think I have a fair idea what's on there, but I'm kind of scared to go into them. But we need to also sort of somehow stop kids being able to do this. I mean, we've got the online safety bill, but I think what we're calling for is a kind of much greater responsibility on the part of the big internet companies.
I think so, and the problem is that this is worth big money to these big internet companies, and they're not going to relinquish that voluntarily. They're going to have to be forced, and it's no good just Britain doing this. It has to be a wider consensus by governments around the world, whether it's the European Union plus the United States, whatever it happens to be. And this is where you find yourself up against a brick wall, because there's no unity that we can actually rely on that can be put into play on.
We've created a Wild West, haven't we? I mean, that's what the internet is. The online world is a kind of Wild West where effectively there are no laws.
No, and like you, I sort of have half an idea of what's on the dark web, but I suspect that we would be truly horrified if we actually ventured into it ourselves.
And by the way, don't forget, you can go onto the dark web and buy any old drug you want and it'll be delivered to your house.
More than just drugs. More than drugs. You can do that.
Yeah, but
you can do that on Instagram,
but
frankly.
it is pretty extraordinary that if I wanted to go onto the dark web, I could have heroin delivered to my house within about half an hour. It's extraordinary.
You could pay for mutilations, you could buy slaves, there's all sorts
There you
going on.
go, there you go.
I mean, like I said, drugs you can probably just buy off TikTok.